Hi, welcome to our channel of IGNOU Audiobooks, Indira Gandhi National Open University, School of Law, SOL, Postgraduate Diploma in Intellectual Property Rights, PGDIPR, MIP 104 Trademarks, Domain Names Geographical Indications, Block 1 Trademarks I, 1.1 Introduction. Trademarks are facets of everyday life. We see and hear hundreds of trademarks each day. Just as our own name identifies and distinguishes us, the main purpose of a trademark is to identify the source of a product and to distinguish that product from products coming from other sources. Trademarks play a vital role in day to day choices made by the consuming public. One of the main grounds for the utilitarian and economic justification of trademarks is the idea that trademarks reduce consumers' search costs. Consumers rely on trademarks, for example, to more easily facilitate repeat purchases of goods or services based on a previous pleasurable experience or a manufacturer's reputation for quality. Trademarks enable consumers to make repeated purchases without extensive research. Trademarks are invaluable for modern day commerce. This unit is devoted to understanding the concept and types of trademarks together with an effort to define and understand the functions that a trademark is required to serve. 1.2 Objectives. After studying this unit, you would be able to times define trademark, times describe the concept of trademarks, times know about the functions to be performed by trademarks in commerce, and times know the various kinds of trademark. 1.3 Legal concept of trademark. A trademark is a distinctive sign or indicator used by an individual, business, organization, or other legal entity to identify that the products or services to consumers with which the trademark appears originate from a unique source, and to distinguish its products or services from those of other entities. A trademark is typically a name, word, phrase, logo, symbol, design, image, or a combination of these elements. There is also a range of non-conventional trademarks comprising marks which do not fall into these standard categories, such as those based on color, smell, or sound. The essential function of a trademark is to exclusively identify the commercial source or origin of products or services, such that a trademark, properly called, indicates source or serves as a badge of origin. Trademarks not only identify goods but create a distinction between goods from various sources. In relation to trademarks, the specific subject matter of the industrial property is the guarantee that the owner of the trademark has the exclusive right to use that trademark for the purpose of putting products protected by the trademark into circulation for the first time, and is therefore intended to protect him against competitor wishing to take advantage of status and reputation of the trademark by selling products illegally bearing that trademark. The trademark philosophy symbolizes that if a has created a mark, then others should not be able to free ride off his efforts. Others should not reap where he has sown. 1.3.1 Historical development of trademarks. 6. Trademarks represent an important feature of modern day commerce, however, their existence can be traced to the ancient world. The trade of goods came into practice long ago, and the use of trademarks can be traced back to that time. Symbols have been used to identify the ownership or origin of articles for several centuries, and scientists have come across excavated artifacts from places such as ancient Egypt, India, and China with such symbols carved thereon. As early as 5000 BC, markings on pottery have been found by archaeologists. Archaeological discoveries of ancient Greek and Roman inscriptions on sculptural works, paintings, vases, precious stones, glassworks, bricks, etc. reveal some features which are thought to be marks or symbols akin to trademarks. As far back as 3000 years ago, Indian craftsmen used to engrave their signatures on their artistic creations before sending them to Iran. manufacturers from China sold goods bearing their marks in the Mediterranean area over 2000 years ago, and at one time about 1,000 different Roman pottery marks were in use. In the Middle Ages, the use of many kinds of marks on a variety of goods was commonplace. There were the baker's mark on bread, bottle maker's marks, smith's marks, tanner's marks, watermarks on paper, etc. Potter's marks appeared in relics left from the Greek and Roman periods and were used to identify the maker of a particular vessel. In guilds of Middle Ages, craftsmen and merchants affixed marks to goods in order to distinguish their work from the makers of low-quality goods and to maintain trust in the guilds. However, the economic importance of trademarks was still limited during Middle Ages. From the Middle Ages, modern trademarks slowly developed as the Industrial Revolution sparked the advent of what is now modern-day capitalism. Trademarks started to play an important role with industrialization, and they have since become a key factor in the modern world of international trade and market-oriented economies. With the advancement in trade and commerce, trademarks do not merely identify the goods, they also indicate the goods to be of a particular quality and thereby stimulated further purchases by the consuming public. Eventually, trademarks came to symbolize the goodwill and business reputation of the owner of the product and became a property right protected by law. 1.3.2 Functions and needs of trademarks. In the modern-day complex environment of trade, a trademark fulfills a series of functions both for the trader and for the consumer. These functions are explained below. Source identification function. In the village economy, the consumer always bought direct from the producer, with concentration of production capacity in larger units required the development of methods of distribution to get the goods to the consumer. This led to the emergence of the modern use of trademarks as a source and origin identifier. Because of the loss of the personal connection between producer and consumer, therefore, the source and origin identification function became the main and, indeed, the primary function of trademarks, quality function. Trademarks could be understood as indications, not necessarily of physical origin, but of a more general connection between the trademark owner and the trademarked goods. For example, it is obvious that all the Coca-Cola sold in the world does not originate from Atlanta in the US. Rather, the Coca-Cola Company enters into license agreements with others to produce under its trademark. In this way, the informative function provides consumers with information that the production of Coca-Cola in a certain country lies within the sponsorship and affiliation of a certain origin and source. The quality function is in fact a development and broadening of source function itself, in that the trademark is now not only an indicator of physical source but also the source of standard of quality of goods services bearing the mark. In the modern world, goods are usually manufactured far from where they are consumed, and they reach consumers after being circulated amongst manufacturers and traders. This necessitates trademarks to perform the role of identifiers of quality, providing consumers with information about the quality of their products, and based on the consumer's previous satisfaction when making purchases. As a result, manufacturers have the required incentive to produce products of high, indeed superior quality. However, trademark law makes nowhere a value judgment. Trademarks and their protection are available to high and low quality products alike. The indicative function of trademark can therefore work either way. It can identify products as being goods of high quality, but it can also warn customers to avoid certain product in the future. Advertising function. Industrialization and the growth of the system of the market-oriented economy allow competing manufacturers and traders to offer consumers a variety of goods in the same category. Often without any apparent differences for the consumer, they do generally differ in quality, price, and other characteristics. Clearly, consumers need to be given information and guidance that will allow them to consider the alternatives and make their choice between the competing goods. Consequently, the goods must be named. The medium for naming goods on the market is precisely the trademark. Trademarks, as powerful marketing tools, perform the advertising function. In today's markets, where a huge number of goods are available, producers can use their trademarks to advertise goods, services, and to allow purchasers to identify the source and origin thereof. Indeed, trademark actually sells the goods. This educates consumers and creates a demand for goods services in order to create brand awareness in the minds of consumers, especially in markets characterized by overcapacity and increased competition. Expressive function. Trademarks often say more about the consumer than the product. For example, consumers desire Rolex watches, in part because wearing them allows them to signal their wealth, appreciation of fine engineering, and other qualities, thereby saying something about themselves. A person who purchases and wears a Chicago Bulls t-shirt does so primarily to show that she is a fan of that team. Anything the team logo might communicate about the quality of the L shirt is secondary, if not completely irrelevant. This makes trademarks to perform the expressive function, merchandising function. With further advancement in modern commerce, the trademark, which hitherto identified the trader, has itself become a merchantable commodity. A trademark is now understood to have independent value beyond that of identifying and distinguishing the goods and services of trademark proprietor. That means, a trademark has an independent existence of its own, detached from the goods or services which it seeks to identify and distinguish. Fe. When a child insists on buying his water bottle having a picture of his favorite cartoon character, he is doing so not because of some source or quality of the product but because he wants to possess the mark or be identified with it. Following the merchandising function, trademark licensing and assignment have become accepted business practices in the modern world. 1.3.3 Trademarks as business asset. Nowadays, the intangibles, especially the brand names, trademarks, have become the most valuable assets for an increasing number of companies. In many cases, the brand value exceeds the value of physical assets of a company. As per Business Week Interbrand Corp, the top 5 brand names in the year 2004 were Coca-Cola, $67.394 billion, Microsoft, $61.372 billion, IBM, $53.791 billion, GE, $44.111 billion, and Intel, $33.499 billion. The figures, in brackets, indicate the brand values. The combined value of top 20 brands amounted to an astonishing $550 billion, 1.4 definition of trademark. We encounter a vast number of trademarks on a daily basis. We react to them instinctively, i.e., without having to consciously think. We simply know a mark when we come across one, but it is much more difficult to find precisely its attributes. Any definition of trademark has to fulfill two purposes: a, capturing the attributes of a trademark, and 2, doing it in a ways that these attributes can be presented in the register. A trademark could be broadly defined as any sign that individualizes the goods or services of an enterprise and distinguishes them from the goods or services of its competitors. This definition comprises two important aspects of a trademark, i.e., individualizing and distinguishing. These aspects are interdependent and for all practical purposes should always be looked at together. In order to individualize a product or service for the consumer, the trademark must indicate its source. This does not mean that it must inform the consumer of the actual person who has produced the product, service, or even the one who is trading in it. It is sufficient that the consumer can trust in a given enterprise, not necessarily known to him, being responsible for the product sold under the Trademark. The Trademarks Act 1999 in Section 2(1) ZB defines a trademark as trademark means a mark capable of being represented graphically and which is capable of distinguishing the goods or services of one person from those of others and may include shape of goods, their packaging and combination of colors. And I, in relation to Chapter 12, other than Section 107, a registered trademark, or a mark used in relation to goods or services for the purpose of indicating, or so as to indicate a connection in the course of trade between the goods or services, as the case may be, and some person having the right as proprietor to use the mark, and 2. In relation to other provisions of this Act, a mark used or proposed to be used in relation to goods or services for the purpose of indicating or so to indicate a connection in the course of trade between the goods or services, as the case may be, and some person having the right, either as proprietor or by way of permitted user, to use the mark whether with or without any indication of identity of that person, and includes a certification trademark or collective mark. 1.4.1 A trademark must be a mark. The first element of the definition of trademark is that it should be a mark arid, hence must satisfy the definition of mark under Section 2(1) M, which is as follows. Mark includes a device, brand, heading, label, ticket, name, signature, word, letter, numeral, shape of goods, packaging or combination of colors or any combination thereof. The above provision is a list of examples of what types of signs could become trademarks. The definition of mark is an expression wide enough to include a wide range of unusual marks, such as marks consisting of single color, a smell, a sound, or a moving image. 1.4.2 A trademark must be capable of being represented graphically. 10. It must be possible for the chosen mark to be capable of being graphically represented. Such capability must be realized on the application form itself. The function of the graphic representation is to enable the mark in question to be represented visually so that it could be identified precisely. Such graphic representation must be clear, precise, self-contained, easily accessible, intelligible, durable, unequivocal, and objective. See Sickman 2003 ETMR 37. The selection of graphic representation is an important step for any applicant because the trademark is defined by graphic representation which it is necessary to file with the application form. The trademark registry is therefore enabled to know with certainty what is comprised in a mark so that it can maintain an accessible register of trademarks and fulfill its functions of examination and publication. In this manner, the graphic representation provides a fixed point of reference for the trademark which is OP-N to public scrutiny, and hence the traders are enabled to ascertain with certainty exactly what their competitors have registered or applied for registration. Times 1.4.3 A trademark must be capable of distinguishing. This basic requirement of a trademark to be able to distinguish the goods or services of one undertaking from those of others indicates towards the essential function of a trademark, which is to identify the source. Capable of distinguishing means able to distinguish or serves to distinguish. To be capable to distinguish connotes the distinctive feature of a trademark which has a technical meaning in trademark law. It means to serve to guarantee that all goods bearing the mark come from the control of the same undertaking. A mark can be striking, fanciful, unusual, memorable, or different, which can contribute to it being distinctive, but if it does not provide that guarantee of origin, it is not distinctive in law. 1.4.4 A trademark is for goods or services only. A trademark can be registered for goods or for services and for nothing else. That means for the fields of activities that are other than selling of goods or provision of services, a trademark cannot be registered. Goods and services both have been defined in the Trademarks Act 1999 as per Section 1(1) U. Goods means anything which is the subject of trade or manufacture, and Section 2. 1. Z. Defines service as service of any description which is made available to potential users and includes the provision of services in connection with business of any industrial or commercial matters such as banking, communication, education, financing, insurance, chit funds, real estate, transport, storage, material treatment, processing, supply of electrical or other energy, boarding, lodging, entertainment, amusement, construction, repair, conveying of news or information, and advertising. The trademarks used for services are sometimes described as service marks. These definitions are wide enough to include most activities related to manufacture, trade, and commerce. Further, it is for the applicant to determine as to for which goods or services he wants to register the chosen mark. The registry rarely has any reason to question such choice. 1.5 Types of trademarks. Trademarks could be grouped into two categories based their character and belongingness. By character is meant what is it that goes to comprise a trademark, i.e., whether it is words, picture, color, sound, etc. It follows from the purpose of trademark that virtually any sign that can serve to distinguish goods services from other goods services is capable of constituting a trademark. Trademark laws do not attempt to draw up an exhaustive list of marks admitted for registration. If examples are given, they may be a practical illustration of what can be registered without being exhaustive. If there are to be limitations, they may be based on practical considerations only, such as the need for a workable register and the need for publication of the registered trademark. By belongingness is meant to whom the trademark belongs or who all are entitled to use it. So, based on belongingness, trademarks could be individually owned or collectively owned, or they may be certification marks. Trademarks typically identify individual enterprises as the origin of marked goods or services. Some countries provide for the registration of collective and certification marks, which are used to indicate the affiliation of enterprises using the mark or which refer to identifiable standards met by the products for which a mark is used. Following is a description of various kinds of marks. 1.5.1 Words, letters and numerals. These marks are the most usual kind of trademarks that we encounter on a daily basis. Names, surnames, forenames, abbreviations, letters, words, slogans, etc. could fit into this category. Apple, Maruti, 555, Ye Dil Mange More, Aite, etc. are examples of these marks. 1.5.2 Devices and shapes. This category includes fancy devices, drawings and symbols, and also two-dimensional representations of goods or their containers. Shape of goods or their packaging may also constitute trademark. Examples of this category would be the bottle of Coca-Cola and Apple's iPod. However, according to Section 9(3) of the Trademarks Act, 1999, a mark is incapable of being registered as a trademark if it consists exclusively of a. the shape of goods which results from the nature of goods themselves, or b. the shape of goods which is necessary to obtain a technical result, or c. the shape which gives substantial value to the goods. 1.5.3 Logos. A logo can be described as a design which becomes a mark when used in close association with the goods or services being marketed. Examples of logo marks are McDonald's double arches and Apple Computers Apple. 1.5.4 Sound marks. A sound can also be a trademark. The three-tone chime of NBC and ICICI's jingle has been registered as a trademark. Two typical categories of sound marks can be distinguished, namely those that can be transcribed in musical notes or other symbols, and others, e.g. the cry of an animal, dot, 1.5.5 Color March KS. This category includes words, devices, and any combinations thereof in color, tilde, as well as color combinations and color as such. The Supreme Court of USA held in the 1995 case of Qualitex Co. v. Jacobson Products Co. 115S.CT 1300. 1995 that the green gold color of a dry cleaning press pad can function as a trademark. Before this decision, the argument was often made that color alone could not be considered a trademark, since granting trademark status to colors would soon lead to the depletion of number of colors available for an object. The court in Qualitex rejected arguments based on this depletion theory, reasoning that alternative colors would usually be available for competitors. 1.5.6 Olfactory marks, smell marks. There is no prohibition to register even a smell if it satisfies other conditions of a trademark. An illustration could be a situation where a company sells its goods, e.g., writing paper, with a certain fragrance, and the consumer becomes accustomed to recognizing the goods by their smell. The smell of fresh cut grass was allowed for tennis balls in Senta Aromatic S application, 1999, ETMR 429, 1.5.7 Collective marks. A collective mark may be owned by an association which itself does not use the collective mark but whose members may use the collective mark. Typically, the association has been founded in order to ensure the compliance with certain quality standards by its members. The members may use the collective mark if they comply with the requirements fixed in the regulations concerning the use of the collective mark. Examples of such associations would be those representing accountants, engineers, or architects. Thus, the function of the collective mark is to inform the public about certain particular features of the product for which the collective mark is used. An enterprise entitled to use the collective mark may, in addition, also use its own trademark. The regulations concerning the use of the collective mark normally have to be included in an application for the registration of the collective mark, and any modifications to the regulations have to be notified to the Trademark Office. In several countries, for example, the Federal Republic of Germany, Finland, Norway, Sweden, and Switzerland, the registration of a collective mark may be cancelled if that mark is used contrary to the provisions of the regulations or in a (h) misleads the public. Collective marks, therefore, play an important role in the protection of consumers against misleading practices. The Trademarks Act, 1999 in Section 2(1)(g) defines a collective mark to mean a trademark distinguishing the goods or services of members of an association of persons not being a partnership within the meaning of Indian Partnership Act, 1932, which is the proprietor of the mark from those of others. The Paris Convention contains provisions on collective marks in its Article T. Those provisions, in particular, ensure that collective marks are to be admitted for registration and protection in countries other than the country where the association owning the collective mark has been established. This means that the fact that the said association has not been established in accordance with the law of the country where protection is sought is no reason for refusing such protection. On the other hand, the Convention expressly states the right of each member state to apply its own conditions of protection and to refuse protection if the collective mark is contrary to the public interest. 1.5.8 Certification marks. The certification mark may only be used in accordance with the defined standards. The main difference between collective marks and certification marks is that the former may be used only by particular enterprises, for example, members of the association which owns the collective mark, while the latter may be used by anybody who complies with the defined standards. Thus, the users of a collective mark form a club, while, in respect of certification marks, the open shop principle applies. An important requirement for the registration of a certification mark is that the entity which applies for registration is competent to certify the products concerned. Thus, the owner of a certification mark must be the representative for the products to which the certification mark applies. This is an important safeguard for the protection of the public against misleading practices. The Trademarks Act, 1999 in Section 2(1)(e) defines a certification trademark to mean a mark capable of distinguishing the goods or services in connection with which it is used in the course of trade which are certified by the proprietor of the mark in respect of origin, material, mode of manufacture of goods or performance of services, quality, accuracy, or other characteristics from goods or services not so certified and registrable as such under Chapter 9 in respect of those goods or services in the name, as proprietor of the certification trademark of that person. The definition of certification mark is not the same in all countries. In the United States of America, for instance, a certification mark may not be used by anybody who complies with the defined standards, but only by enterprises which have been authorized by the owner of the certification mark to use that mark. Thus, in the United States of America, the difference between a certification mark and a collective mark is small. In other countries, it only relates to the purpose of those two kinds of marks. The certification mark refers to certain standards of products or services, while the collective mark refers to the membership of its users in a particular organization. The internationally accepted ISO 9000 quality standards are an example of such widely recognized certifications. 1.5.9 Trade dress. Trade dress is essentially the total image or overall appearance of good. This is a very broad concept and may include the features such as size, shape, color or color combinations, texture, graphics, or even particular sales techniques. John J. Harlan Co. v. Clark Checks Incorporated, 711 F.2D 966980, 11 CIR. 1983. For example, the shape, design, letters, logos, and color schemes of a Colgate toothpaste is a trade dress. It serves the functions of a trademark and, therefore, courts are extending the protection available to trademarks to trade dress too. The overall impression created by the broad appearance is what determines whether the trade dress has been copied or not. Trade dress protection is available without registration and, therefore, the remedy is passing off action. In the UD, trade dress is registrable as trademark or service mark. 1.6 Summary. A trademark is a distinctive sign or indicator used by an individual, business, organization, or other legal entity to identify that the products or services to consumers with which the trademark appears originate from a unique source and to distinguish its products or services from those of other entities. Consumers rely on trademarks, for example, to more easily facilitate repeat purchases of goods or services based on a previous pleasurable experience or a manufacturer's reputation for quality. A trademark is typically a name, word, phrase, logo, symbol, design, image, or a combination of these elements. There is also a range of non-conventional trademarks comprising marks which do not fall into these standard categories, such as those based on color, smell, or sound. In the modern-day complex environment of trade, a trademark fulfills a series of functions both for the trader and for the consumer. These include source, identification, quality, advertising, expressive, and merchandising functions. Trademarks have become the most valuable assets for an increasing number of companies, and in many cases the brand value exceeds the value of the physical assets of a company. Words, letters, numerals, devices, shapes, Logos, sounds, colors, and smells could function as trademarks if they could be represented graphically and could help distinguish the goods and services of one business enterprise from that of others. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next video with next chapter.